good to be here today with you to tell you our Bible story from the book of Matthew. We've been going through the book of Matthew for a long time now, haven't we? Well, today we're just about to wrap up learning about what Jesus had to say about the Sermon on the Mount. And one of the things he's been talking about is what is it like in the kingdom of heaven? How do people behave? What do they do in the kingdom of heaven? Well, not only do we need to know about how they behave, but we also need to know how does a person become a citizen of a person that belongs to the kingdom of heaven? How does that happen? Well, Jesus started talking about big and little, like a big pathway like I'm on. See how this is big and this is little? Big, little. Jesus said that when we go to follow him, sometimes it's like being on a little tiny path because we have to choose God's way. We have to choose to follow Jesus and do the things that Jesus asked us to do. We also have to choose to love one another and care for one another. Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." So when we follow Jesus, we know that we're going the right way, that we're going the way that God wants us to go, on the little path. When we're not following Jesus, guess what? It's like being on this big path, and this big path doesn't lead to Jesus, but the small path does. We can follow Jesus and do the things that Jesus asked us to do, to love one another and to love God. Guess what? We don't have to do it all by ourselves either. Guess who can help us? God can help us. God is our helper, and he can help us on the small path to follow Jesus and do the things that Jesus told us to do. That's all I have for my story today. There's going to be an activity in a couple seconds, so I'll see you there. But until then, bye everyone! Okay, for our activity today, you have two options that you can do. The first one is something that you can do with your family. You can go on a hike with your family, and as you're hiking, give an opportunity for each person in your family to choose something. So maybe it's choose to go left or choose to go right, or maybe it's choose to hop over a log or to pick a flower. Everybody in your family can get a choice. Just like how we were talking about in the story, how we have to choose Jesus. We have to choose God's way. It doesn't just happen to us, we have to choose it. So your one activity you can do today is to go on a walk with your family and make those choices together. The second thing that you can do as a family is to make a family poster where you put on it things that are important to you about choosing Jesus and talking about what that looks like for you as each person in your family. Make that poster and then have somewhere in your house where you can hang it up. For me, I put together something that looks like this. I'm not a very good artist, and so I just made mine on the computer, and I put a verse that's really important to me to remind me about choosing God's life, John 10:10. So that's the one that I chose, and I can hang it up somewhere in my house. Of course, you can just do it with markers, and you can add lots of fun, fuzzy things to it, like pom-poms or what else? Pipe cleaners, glitter, paint, whatever you want. You can add any kind of texture things to your poster, but just remember, it's all about choosing Jesus. What is going to help you remind you that you get to choose Jesus? And you can talk about it as a family, make your family poster, and then put it somewhere so that you can talk about it and remind one another about what is true. All right, that's all I have for our activity today. I hope you have a great week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye, everyone.